Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to discuss some money-making apps for Shopify. Now, quick things about apps to start with. Some apps are almost must. You pretty much have to have a review app, for example, on your store. But at some point, you start to have enough apps. And then you get to an app overwhelm. And often we see our biggest merchants being quite sick of apps. They don't want just another app, because they understand that more apps does not equal a better store. And that's often the difference between a beginner merchant and someone who's at 7 or 8 figures. They understand that additional things and things that you add to the store often complicate things. They also cost money. They can slow things down site speed wise. So there's a lot of reasons to actually not having a lot of apps. And this is why I also firmly believe that the apps you do have should be there to generate revenue, because they are an expense of time, they're an expense of attention, and of course also an expense when it comes to money. So considering those things, you have to be quite picky about your apps. And some apps are almost fundamental to your business. So for example, the review app that you select will be right there, front and center for your customers on your product page. So it makes sense to think carefully about those options. And while it is changeable later on, sometimes the way that these apps collect and show their reviews might not be suitable for other apps. So the imports and exports may not work that well. With that said, let's look at best-in-class Shopify apps for generating revenue. So the best to do this, let's switch over to the screen share here. And a quick intro to the categories. So today we're going to look into apps that help with conversions. So those are mostly review apps. Then we are going to look at some apps that help with the average order value. So those are mainly upselling apps. And then frequency and loyalty. So those would be subscription apps. So those are the three categories that we're looking at. So technically the idea is that you already have your traffic, and then we can maximize more of that traffic by utilizing apps. And that's actually what we do all day, every day here at Zero Gurus. I'm the founder, Samuel Larsen. So we do this for 7 and 8 figure stores all day, every day. So that's why I believe I have a unique insight to share here with you. But without further ado, let's jump into our first one. So the first one is called Upsell. Quite a legendary app from many perspectives, have been around for multiple years already, and a very solid developer in general behind it. So you see it's launched already 11 years ago. So it has had a lot of chance to work out its kinks and to really make sure that it has the functionality that people need, require, and want. A couple of good things about this app that I wanted to especially highlight is, first of all, the ability to suggest additional products at different stages. So here, for example, you have the upsell pop-up where you have it on the cart, but there's also possibilities to add it on the product page and then also on the checkout. So you have multiple options. Also quite good reporting plus pop-up options that you can customize. And also this app has a little bit of built-in functionality when it comes to smart recommendations. So they can do things like customize that based on your behavior, and then some automatic discount codes as well. So overall, pretty impressive. And the one downside of this is that for many stores running any kind of significant volume, the pricing can be a little bit high, especially if you want to do the upsell funnels as well. So something to consider. The nice thing with these apps is that they do have the demo stores, so you can have and check it out how things are. And generally speaking, this can be then customized further. So you can see how that will look like for your own store as well. All right, next up is ReConvert. So another popular app came on a little bit later. Essentially, what I think that they saw is that there's opportunities to do a lot of things on the thank you page. And basically the post-purchase checkout options at that point for upselling really weren't that good. And they were able to fill that void from that perspective. So feature these for the customers who have bought something and to essentially enable them to upsell pretty easily with one-click upsells. So overall, an interesting app for the thank you page. I know that they have been developing really quickly as well. So I think the roadmap, especially for this app, seems the most positive out of all these upsell apps that we are reviewing today. So generally speaking, I really like this app as well. We are spoiled for choice these days compared to how it used to be a few years ago. So there's a lot of different choices, and it really is a buyer's market to take a look at these different options. Also, with these ones, they all have a demo store, so you can check things out here as well to then get an idea of how that would look like. So I recommend playing around with this and getting a perspective of how this could actually fit your brand. Next up, this is the last of the upsell apps. Just want to have 3 options here. This is the one upsell. Very, very popular as well. And here, it's the simplest of these 3 apps. It offers one-click upsells, abandoned cart recoveries, and does this for quite an affordable price. So that's a really nice thing. And we can quickly take a look at this. As you see, it's a fairly simple one. And most of these things, when it comes to offer, it's not really so much about the presentation, especially on the later stages, as it is about offering the right thing for the right customer at the right time. So that's the one that makes the difference. One thing I don't like so much about these apps, especially when it comes to, say, one upsell, they do have quite a few gimmicks on it. So if you, for example, have all these gamified pop-ups and then this people viewed this product, etc., it's kind of fakery. That can add to the app's slow load times, and as a result, you might end up with a little bit of a bulkier solution than you would otherwise need. So if an app has a lot of elements that you wouldn't use on a regular basis, then it can end up just slowing you down. So proceed cautiously with this and take a look at all the options to see if you already have the best one for you or if there's a better one available. With that said, let's look into the conversion boosting apps. And for this, it really is about reviews and social proof. And there's no conversation about reviews and social proof without starting it with Loox. By far the most popular Shopify review app there is, as you can see from the amount of reviews that they have as well. Loox tends to be the one option that people are already familiar with. They are the one that really brought in the photo reviews into the review app marketplace. So they are, in a way, a pioneer from that, and they have been able to use that position quite well. So it's not a dinosaur that used to do things well and no longer is. And also, these review apps are all now integrating with Google Shopping, etc. So as long as you keep your reviews in good standing, you'd be able to showcase these on, say, paid advertising as well as on your SEO pages. So those are nice things there. And additionally, many of these review apps are trying to differentiate from others by adding a little bit of functionalities beyond their reviews. So that's also helpful. The idea with the review apps themselves is that as automated as you can make it to collect the customer reviews, the better off you'll be. So you'll be able to do it like this. Okay, nice thing, of course, video reviews as well. I think in many cases that would and should be the next thing, since the more difficult it is to fake, the better it will be. And of course, we know that people that are looking to fake reviews are already on that train to produce fake video reviews, but still, majority of the customers don't really know any better. Okay, with that said, we have the Loox here. Quickly about the pricing as well. So they have been raising that lately. So it used to be very affordable. Now you have the beginner tier that is very affordable, and then it gets a lot more expensive very quickly after that. So that's something to consider, especially if you have plans to scale the store, that you are actually good to essentially pay these amounts, and you are comfortable with that going forward. If not, there's other options available on the Shopify marketplace. We have one more review app to go before we get the subscription apps. This is Yotpo, a heavy hitter as well on the review space, been around for a very long time. So quickly going over this, the nice thing about them is that they are quite flexible in terms of their review showcases. So you can have a lot of different ways to showcase the reviews. Also really good analytics. So this is more like the person in the office, I would say, whereas Loox could be more of that artist type of person that cares more about the visuals, whereas Yotpo is more about the data, facts over feelings. And it is, from many perspectives, quite a straightforward app as well. Does many of the same things as Yotpo, but perhaps is suitable for a little bit more of a store that is not as visual. One nice thing about Yotpo is that they also enable this kind of filtering for the reviews, which can be hugely beneficial for the stores once they start having a lot of different reviews. So I think this is an excellent app for those that have a lot of review data to go over. So it is useful for the stores that are tiny bit bigger. And unlike Loox, Yotpo has actually brought their pricing down. So they are on a good path from that angle. But one thing that they have done is broken their platform into multiple pieces. So this is only about the reviews, which in some case can be viewed as a good thing, because then the app brings less bulkiness with it. So if you're only looking for a review app, then having an app that is only focused on reviews can actually be a good thing. You may not want all the bells and whistles with your app. A few things quickly about Yotpo. So they allow for review collection by SMS. They also have things such as birthday collections. So you can SMS people on their birthdays, which is a nice addition. And you can configure even abandoned cart reviews with SMS and photo reviews. So this is one of those additional things that can make a difference over time. So if there's this fact that 98% of customers say that reviews are the most important factor, then reminding them of those reviews can be a nice way to get in touch with these people. And also it has a little bit of additional built-in functionality like this. This one is one where it won't slow the site down as it is happening with the inbox. So it's an email thing. I have gone over the review apps thoroughly on this video here, and we will be linking on it above and also in the description below. So feel free to take your pick if you want to check over this. And here there's also more about Loox, Reviews.io, Judge Me, and Yotpo as well. So a lot of this will be highly relevant for those looking for review apps. Okay, now that you have your conversion, and now that you have also your average order value, aka upsells, in this case, we can look into subscription apps. And there's a couple of heavy hitters here to go over. First of all, let's look at Recharge. Now, Recharge, quite expensive. If you look at the starting price of $100 a month. However, it is also a really damn good app. So in many cases, you could look at it as being justified. They don't have all that many customization options when it comes to how you display it. But if you are able to run a subscription business, then that business will be tremendously valuable, and you will be able to, first, sell your business for a high amount of money because of this recurring revenue aspect. And one thing that becomes very complicated with recurring subscriptions is the management part. So that's where it helps to have an app that is built for that. So you can easily manage these subscriptions. And the amount of money you pay on the front end often means that you will save time later on the back end. So that's the biggest upside on Recharge that I see. And then you also have the interface for the customers to also manage their subscriptions. So this means that you have a little bit less of a need to go and complicate things on the customer support part. They will not be as likely to contact you because they can manage their own things from the interface. And also there's an option to manage this from SMS even. So this is how it looks like. You have your product page, and then you have your subscription. So very, very simple. And there's customization options here as well when it comes to the frequency, etc. And then we will be looking into one last app. So this is not a subscription app, but this is to maximize your conversion rates from product filtering and search perspective. And if you are familiar with the app, you might already pick it up from that description. So this app will help visitors find the products that they're looking for. And the nice thing about this is that we've looked into it, and the functionality is very UX friendly. So it does the things that it's supposed to do from the usability perspective. So for example, here you have a display of how many items there's going to be on each category. You have a size slider here, and those functionalities are easily built into it. So that makes it useful, and there's also customization options when it comes to those. On the search keyword auto-completion, it does what it's supposed to do. It gives you suggestions, collections, and products. So whether a person is searching for any of these, they'll be able to find what they are looking for. And often this can help people also think of other things that they should be searching, because now the search looks proper and useful. So it is easier to get motivated to use the search as well. And there are good customization options as well on the backend. I think it summarizes pretty well what it does here. A pleasant experience for your shoppers by enabling the product filtering for the search results page. That's pretty much it. And with this one, even for bigger stores, people will be able to connect with the products that they are interested in. So that's that. It also enables the custom filter styles. So that's worthwhile to explore also. Here's an example of how that looks like. So, for example, you pick that up and then you can apply multiple filters easily, and it works fairly quickly on that one. And as you can see here, the filters are now applied, and you can remove just one, or you can clear all, and it will function well. Here you can see the customization options. So for example, there's different images based on those ones. So powerful stuff. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and of course, like the video. It helps you optimize your algorithm for YouTube. And if you are interested in our conversion rate optimization help, you can go to crogurus.com, where you can take a look at your store and see if you'd be interested and if it would be a good fit for us to help you turn more of your visitors into profit with conversion, average order value optimization. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Cheers.